What's that like? What's going on, people? Hey, it's another edition of the What's That Like podcast, and I'm your host, John Knowles. Welcome back to the show. We're going to do a quick one today. This is a recap with one Mr. Gabe Dexheimer. You know him, you love him from the Queen of Hearts broadcast that we do every Friday night from Turner Hall. And we're going to get that drawing started back up again here real soon. It'll start on March 1st. And I just want to get Gabe back on, talk about the history of the Queen of Hearts and let everyone know it's coming back, number one. And, you know, the What's That Like podcast will be back there broadcasting live every Friday night, at least through the end of this next round. This is round 4. We'll talk about that in the show. One of the things we did talk about in the show is that we're about halfway through it. Card 27, 28, we estimated while we were speaking. In actuality, it's card number 30. We were going to be drawing on March 1st. So a couple more deeper than we thought. Just in full disclosure, we're at card 30, not card 27 or 28 like we talk about in the show. But I just want to give a shout out again to everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for moving over into the new year with us. We certainly appreciate all the help and support and all the listeners out there in What's That Like Nation. I do this for you. It's fun for me. It's a hobby, but I certainly like getting it out there and making sure you've got interesting stories and people and places and events like this that can really take it to the next level. Before you even get into this one, I want to preview next week's episode. I had the privilege of sitting down with Ron Ryan, who was just completed a 50-year coaching career with the Mount Olive Wildcats wrestling program. And that's expanded to a couple other towns, so it's a co-op, but at this point, 50 years in one place. It's amazing. So be on the lookout for that episode next week. I was going to package these two things together, but the Queen of Hearts is immediate. We got to get this one out, and the Ron Ryan one will be over an hour, so I thought I'll just let that one simmer, and we'll put that out in a week or so for your enjoyment. He just completed that. He's got a great story to tell. Fabulous guy. I mean, I've known him for a long time, but just to sit down and talk with a guy like him for an hour and 20 minutes or so was a great conversation, and I know you're going to look forward to it as well. But anyway, let's get to this week's show. Once again, Gabe Dexheimer, the Queen of Hearts drawing at Turner Hall. What's that like? Gabe, old buddy, you're back here on the What's That Like podcast. How you doing, man?
Good, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It's good to have you back. It's middle of February. Something's going to start here real quick. That's been a big part of, I know, your life and my life for about the last year and a half.
Absolutely.
What are we talking about, buddy?
We it's Queen of Hearts. It's kind of put Mount Olive on the map here in the last couple of years. So
yeah.
We had a pretty big drawing a season ago, and we're hoping to get back up there again.
Yeah, so let's talk about a little bit of the history. You know, a lot of folks downloaded the first podcast, and we talked about the Queen of Hearts on that for like 3 minutes. We just kind of talked about Turner Hall. We talked about stuff that was going on back then, so we don't have to recap all that. But the Queen of Hearts itself became this thing that just blew up in so many ways we couldn't even predict, didn't it?
Yeah, it really helped I think it really helped the local economy even for the Friday. I mean, the restaurants were packed, the roads were packed. I mean, the Turner Hall especially, it really helped out Turner Hall for sure.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what the Queen of Hearts is for those that don't know.
Okay, the Queen of Hearts is a drawing we have. It's basically you take a deck of cards, and every week people buy tickets, and at the end of the week on Friday, we draw one of those tickets, and whoever's name we draw gets a chance to choose a card. And if they choose the Queen of Hearts, they win the pot. They win all the ticket money. So our Queen of Hearts drawing, we actually pay out 70% of all the sales for that ticket is paid out to the winner of the Queen of Hearts drawing. The other 10% goes to the hall, 10% goes to the city, and then 10% starts the next drawing.
Right. So it's a 70, 10, 10, 10.
70, 10, 10, 10.
If you're drawn and aren't there, it's a different split.
If you're drawn and you're not there, and you can write down what card you want to pick if you're not present.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not present and you're drawn, you get 50% of the pot, not 70% of the pot. So that would lower what you get.
But 30% starts the next one.
And then
not
30%
10.
would start the next pot. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're on our fourth one now, right?
Yeah, this is the fourth drawing we've had.
Yeah,
The fourth board.
The first one paid out somewhere in the neighborhood of 13,000.
Yes.
The second one is the one that went bonkers.
The second one went crazy. It went up to a little over $500,000.
Yeah, and we had, 8 cards left, whatever it would have done. How many? Out of 54 cards, it's all 52 cards plus the 2 jokers. Did we have 8 or 9 left?
I think so. It might have even been less than that.
Yeah, so we went 44, 45 weeks with that thing.
And it was crazy. We would have 4,000 or 5,000 people show up in Mount Olive that evening for that drawing. It was pretty neat.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And, some folks from Staunton, a family from Staunton won that.
Yes.
So and they'd been coming all the time. They weren't
they'd been there almost every week and they bought tickets every week. So they were very nice people.
They weren't anyone that walked in and threw down $10 and stole all their money.
Right. And if they were, that would be fine too.
Yeah, that'd work. I mean, a lot of people did. We had so many people come up and win. But let's go back to that time a little bit. It just kind of got crazy. We started out, I say we. I'm just a member up there. I would go up there every Friday night and throw my $10 or $20 in. And it was small. It was 2 or 3. It got to be 5, 6 to 7. When it got to 10,000, I remember thinking, "Oh my God, this is so crazy! It's a lot of money. Somebody's gonna win $10,000."
And this is at the time where you were just starting your podcast, I think, right?
Oh, even before that,
right?
I mean, I think it hit up about maybe in the $35,000 range, and then somebody, Don Now, fire chief here in town,
okay,
he goes, "You should podcast this." I'm like, "Don, podcast is over audio. I'm not sure how well that would work." I go, but I remember thinking maybe I'll go Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. And so I pulled the phone out, went into old selfie mode there. And I think I had 5 viewers on the first show.
It worked great, though. I mean, as time went on, we were trying, at that time when you started doing that, we were looking at ways to broadcast the event so that, because our hall is not very big.
Right.
So you get that many people there, we're streaming to the parking lot. Well, we needed a way to expand our audience, and you came in at a time we really needed you.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask permission, but you certainly didn't tell me no. It was good for both of us. I always say I didn't make the Queen of Hearts become big, but the Queen of Hearts certainly made me become big in this show.
Well, I'm glad we could help.
It was certainly awesome. I think it kicked back a little bit to it. It certainly helped cut down on the amount of traffic. Well, I shouldn't say traffic. Cut down the amount of people in the hall,
right,
which was a big thing.
Right. And and at that point, I mean, it was still packed, but we needed a little breathing room at that point. So I think it helped with that.
Yeah.
And you said you started at 5 listeners?
I think I had 5 viewers.
And what'd you get up to?
It was, by the end, it was almost 1,200.
1,200 people listening online. That's pretty awesome.
It was unbelievable. It became this thing where the police chief here in town, Chief Smaller.
Okay.
At the time, he had told me after it was over that he was, coming at it not from this is great from the economy. He's like, what am I doing with 5,000 people in a town of 2,200?
Right.
And what happens? What happens to services? What can go wrong with all these people and all in one spot?
Right.
Safety concerns.
Logistic wise, yeah. We actually met with the police chief and the fire chief and discussed these issues as it was going on.
He had told me though he had checked with the cell phone company that had the tower here in town.
Okay.
And he said on Friday nights at 9 p.m., which is when we draw, on Friday nights, data traffic spiked like 175% or something over normal. And just total usage spiked up like how much? And I thought, you know what? That's all the people just coming into town that weren't in the hall. The Mount Olive folks just quit coming up.
Right.
They just stayed home because you got a 5-minute clock.
Right.
So all those folks were at home on Wi-Fi, but it was all those out-of-towners. They would come in. The police would tell me they were pulling over people because they were just driving around watching the phone while they were doing it, which is not safe.
Right.
And so they encouraged them, just park on the street. You could all watch. And they would say they'd drive up and down the streets and every car had a glow in it. And I thought, that's really crazy.
That's fun.
That had happened. But anyway, you got up to $500,000. You paid out 70% of that. And it started over again. Mm-hmm. And then it hit fairly quickly, didn't it?
Within 3 or 4 weeks, I think, of when we started it again. I know it was early.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting, it was around $60,000.
Yeah.
And then we started over again. And
we went back down to smaller amounts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of exactly what it went down to after we started, but it might have been like between 6 and 10,000.
Yeah, something like that. And then anyway, we're on our 4th run.
Yep, and we're up to around 55,000. So this winner would get 70% of that at this point. First drawing would be March 1st, so a week from Friday. So that's coming right around the corner. Actually, this Friday we start selling tickets again.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we're doing this now, is to kind of start the word out. It's firing back up March 1st. Come get your tickets. This is the first drawing, but you're going to be able to get them a week starting this Friday, you said, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the Queen of Hearts. We talked about how it blew up the What's That Like podcast. How did it change for you, Gabe? You were the reason you became famous, because I'm always there filming, but I'm filming you.
Right. And I'm not going to say famous, but still, it is kind of different going to other towns and people coming up to you and it's like, hey, I know you from, and I'll be like, they're like, where are you from? Mount Olive. Oh, I know you. You're from the Queen of Hearts. You know, I get it. I get that all the time. After the Queen of Hearts was big, I remember going to Oktoberfest, and I bet you I had 5 conversations with people that I had no idea who they were, but they were just talking about the drawing. They were hyped about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're that guy. Yeah. We became linked in that way.
And I think you get the same type of responses from people as well.
Yeah. It's kind of goofy. I mean, how many times have we been up there and somebody like wanted to selfie with us?
Right.
It's nuts. I mean, we're just a couple of knuckleheads. You know, it's actually a little uncomfortable at times. We were going into Walmart one time, and some lady goes, "Oh my God, it's you!" And she's showing her, "That's the guy." And I'm like, "Please stop." And my wife is probably much like your wife. My wife Corey, your wife Kara. They just look at it and go,
right.
What are you guys
Yeah,
are? If they only knew how big of idiots we were, right? Anyway, big part of the night is also 50-50 drawings.
Right.
And I'm sure we've got an upcoming slate of those. And that's really been the thing that I think you guys are most proud of, right?
Oh,
The big drawing is awesome. That brings the people in.
Right.
But the 50-50s, God, how many organizations have you guys helped in the last 3 years?
Boy, every week we don't actually accept any 50-50 money. All the money that we take in through the 50-50, the 50% of that goes to a non-for-profit organization in our area. So, and then 50% goes to the winner, of course. So, we started out so much to winner. Well, the pot got so big that we split it up into $500 increments. So I think one week we paid out almost, $4,000.
I think it was more than that.
So
I mean, we were doing
16
$500 winners,
right?
Which is $8,000.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's nuts.
And then, of course, the sports team or whoever it was at that time would get the other half of that, and that would really help out some of these local non-for-profits.
Yeah, and that's really what it was for. I think I calculated at one point in time that even before it ended, before that big one had ended, you guys had put in almost $120,000 into local non-for-profits, and that's amazing.
Oh yeah, we would never, without the Queen of Hearts, we never would have the opportunity to do that for our town and for our community.
Just can't speak highly enough about the organization and everything that it has done. It's just crazy. So, what else can you tell us about it?
Okay, well, like I said, when it starts back up, our estimated pot will be around $55,000. So the winner would get 70% of that. Unless you're not there, you would get 50% of that. Any ticket, when it starts back up, if you draw a 2 through a 10, even if you don't win, you're still going to win $100. Any face card and ace will pay out $200, and any joker will pay out $300. That's our new format when we come back.
Yeah, and of course, you got to get drawn to win that.
Right, yeah, your name has to be the one drawn. That's only for the winner. So.
Yeah, so you've got to be present to be drawn to win any of that. If you're not present and drawn, your only chances to win.
Your only chances to win that 50% pot.
Yeah.
If you are there and you're inside the building and present yourself in a timely manner, you can win that $100, $200, or $300, depending on which card you draw.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's always fun too. So you're walking out of there with something. But we're probably at what, Gabe? It's like week 23, 24. We're about halfway through this deck.
I think we're dead on half there. I think we're 27 weeks in, and there's 27 weeks left.
Yeah.
Or 27 possible weeks left. So there's 54 cards in a deck, counting the 2 jokers.
Which means we could hit it on March 1st.
We could.
We could be running this thing almost into September, October.
Right.
At this point.
Right.
Which would be cool.
It could go another half a year.
Yeah.
27 could go 27 more weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy what you've got the opportunity to win here.
Help us if it does.
It's funny too, and I'd like your comments on this. Turner Hall was early weren't the first Queen of Hearts drawing.
No.
But in terms of as they started, certainly one of the first in this area.
Right.
And then I think helped as well. But boy, we've spawned a lot of...
there's a lot of drawings around now.
Yeah.
Right. And that, like I said, only non-for-profits are able to do this drawing, but there's a lot of places that have this drawing now. So it's kind of neat. They've saw our success and they've tried to
emulate it.
Absolutely. Which is great. I mean, the more people helped by this, the better.
Yeah, it's really cool. James Labonte and Labonte Photography are more than just photographers. They're artists. They take great pride in capturing images that you'll be proud to place on your walls for many years for your friends and guests to admire. He's more than just someone with a fancy camera, lights, and software. He'll spend time with you, get to know you, and capture real and authentic portraits of you. For senior photos, special events, weddings, or hey, just some fun family photos you'll treasure forever. Go to Labonte Photography on Facebook or LabontePhoto.com. Say cheese. Is HGTV on in your house all the time like it is in mine? Is a home improvement project on your wish list? If yes, call my friend Gabe Dexheimer at Dexco Home Renovations. Gabe and his crew recently did a great job for my family kitchen. They can do a great job on your next project too. Indoors, outdoors, decks, kitchens, baths, you name it. No jobs are too big or small. If you have an idea or just want a professional eye to help you realize your dream, call Gabe today at 618-420-1742 for a no-obligation consultation. He helped my family realize a dream kitchen, and he can help all of you too. Let's get it done.
Hey, this is Mike Belovich with RE/MAX Alliance. Happy New Year. If you're looking to sell your house and you're not having any luck, give me a call or shoot me a text today, 618-292-0293. Mike Belovich, RE/MAX Alliance Real Estate, the #1 real estate company in the Midwest. And I am the #1 real estate agent sitting in my car right now. Anyway, I do things differently. Let me meet with you in person and go over how I would get your house sold for you. 618-292-0293. Anyway, let me ask you a question. Does this body make me look fat? I think it does.
So you were talking about the Queen of Hearts, and 10% went to the hall.
Okay.
You've made a lot of improvements up there with the money that you raised through all this as well, right? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest one we've just recently completed was a fixing our sewer line. That thing has been giving us trouble for about 2 or 3 years now, and we were finally able to afford to dig that up and put a new sewer line all the way out to the road. So that's going to greatly help out for a long time.
And the other 10% that went to the city? How many parks and playground equipment? That's all gone in, right?
Oh yeah, the first drawing, of course, you saw the playground that went up on City Park right here on Main Street. Then I think they doubled that this year with the last drawing, and there's already another. I mean, they've doubled the size of that.
Mm-hmm. It's really neat looking.
And it's nice seeing kids up there playing. When you see them on there, it really makes you feel good.
Yeah, and that's all because of you. If you're listening to this and you've been up there and you've bought a ticket, you know, a dime of every ticket you spent went for that.
Right. Not me. It was from Turner Hall and all of our volunteers.
Yeah,
there were a lot of volunteers that get credit for that one.
Yeah, I was kind of saying it to the listener.
Oh, yeah.
But I know you put a lot of money into the pot yourself there, Gabe. Just like me. I mean, when you're doing it, I was putting $20 a week into that sucker for a year. That's $1,000.
Right. I was about right there with you. And I never got drawn once, and I never got drawn for 50-50 once. So I'm just donating my time.
Yeah. Well, it would have been a little awkward if you'd have called your own name, wouldn't it?
That is true. I had a plan for that, though.
You know, the funnest one, and, you know, he and everybody knows in the area, Smitty.
Oh, yeah.
And there were times where you weren't available that I would take over, and I would actually MC the night for you. And I remember sitting there one time, or I was standing there one time, we were talking about it, and Smitty shuttle service.
Right.
I need to charge him for an ad because I'm mentioning it anyway. But Smitty stands up and where's a little girl is going to draw a ticket out. And he goes, "You draw that ticket, I'll take you to Disneyland." And you know what? She reached in, she pulled that ticket out. It said Mark Smith on it. I thought, oh my God, we're all going to jail. But he didn't win.
Right.
He didn't win, but he did pull off a couple of 20s, I think, and handed it to her.
Yeah,
just for good luck.
He got the $200 or whatever it was for drawing a face card. But yeah, that was a fun night, day.
Yeah. But we always try to keep it as neutral as we can. But, But it's all on the up and up. Maybe someday you and I could win.
Well,
but
I would like to hope so. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know where that Queen is as much as anybody else. Those boards are bought and paid for, and nobody knows where the Queen's at.
And they're
boards.
sealed.
And they're sealed.
Yeah,
right. There's no way to know where that Queen is in them boards. So.
You mentioned it was deck of cards. It's not like we all took them off and laid them all out and somebody knows which one it is. They're on a sealed, backed board, and we have to get a knife and cut the windows.
Cut the cards out. Yeah, this was done by a bingo company in New York, so there's no affiliation whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's no way to know where those are. Which makes us more transparent as well. We do that so we can be trusted.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all, as you said, going to a good cause, too.
Yes.
What else is going on up at the old hall these days?
Well, we've also, like I said, when the Queen of Hearts starts back up, we're also going to have the gun raffle again. So I'm not sure about the make or model of the gun yet, but there will be tickets for that will also be for sale on Friday.
Are we doing one a month?
I think we'll be doing one a month, yes.
Okay. So you'll be able to buy tickets throughout the month of March. We'll draw it the last.
Right. The last Friday of the month is when they'll
March.
do that gun drawing.
And 50/50s are coming back. Did we already talk about those?
50/50s are coming back. Any local, charitable, non-for-profit organization can apply. Those applications are available on our Facebook page. We do not anticipate letting local competitive sports teams do it, the 50/50s again, but we are going to let them get in to do a raffle item. So they'll be able to bring up like Cardinals tickets and raffle them off and be able to keep the proceeds from that.
All right, so that's Friday night at Turner Hall. The Queen of Hearts drawing, 50/50, the gun raffle, and any other raffles come up for those things. But Turner Hall's been known forever to be an organization that tries to help out the community with a number of different fundraising opportunities. Do we have any more of those coming up soon?
Sure. I know that on St. Patty's Day, we're having a band that day, so we're having a St. Patty's Day party. We also host the kids' Easter egg hunt. That Easter egg hunt will be on Easter Sunday at 1:00 at the J.C. Neiman Park.
That's always a fun time.
So, it's nice seeing there's several different categories, but you get to see the little kids go out there and fill their baskets up, and we provide all the candy and whatnot for that and stuff, all the eggs. And
if you'd like to help out, drop some money or candy off at the hall.
Candy especially, it's always nice getting some donations for that.
Yep. That's the Kids' Day Easter egg hunt. There's an adult version too, right?
Yes, there is. April 13th is the adult Easter egg hunt. That'll be the Saturday before. The sign up will be at Turner Hall at 1:00. And there's lots of prizes you can win that day.
And that's for folks 21 and over.
21 and over.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It's not a triple X related event, but it is certainly something that if you're over 21, you might want to partake in and have some fun.
Yeah, it's a fun time. There's lots of games and stuff we set up, and there's some good photo quality memories to be made that day.
All right, what else?
We have on March 30th, we're doing a benefit. We're having the dueling pianos at Turner Hall upstairs. This is a benefit for Jason Meathead Collins. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. That event starts at 3:00. All the tables are already sold. There is a waiting list if someone would like to get on a waiting list. The tables went for $200 a piece, but you can also get tickets pre-sale for $20 or for $25 on the day of.
Yeah. And that's right in the sweet spot of what Turner Hall has always been about.
We're here to help our members, our community. That's what we're here to help out.
Yeah, and all the proceeds are going to go to Jason and his family.
And his family. He's got a little girl that's 20 months old now.
Yeah.
So there will be a silent auction. There will also be a wheelbarrow of booze and a stocked wine rack that we're going to sell tickets for, and there will be food available for carry out or for dine in. So
all kinds of fun things, and that'll be to help out Jason, which certainly needs to happen as well.
Right.
Yeah. What else you got there, bud?
Okay. The last thing I was going to mention was just throw out there September 14th, Turner Fest. Our good friend Randy Bursch puts a lot of work into this event, and I like advertising it every chance I get. That's going to be coming up. There'll be bands all day that day.
Third annual
Turner Fest, and he's working on a big name band this year, a bigger name band. So we're looking to get the band Rehab. They sing that bartender song.
And that's always free to the public as well.
That's free to the public. Yeah. That's at no cost.
And then it's an all-day music fest. There's food trucks generally available. Randy does a good job putting that out.
Yeah, the food trucks is the draw for that day.
Yeah, we've chronicled that the last couple of years here on the WTL podcast. But always a fun time, and of course, Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day weekend
is the homecoming, which will be a lot of fun, I'm sure, as well.
Absolutely, that's always a good time. We have the Les Gruff and the Billy Goats headlining that event on Saturday.
And it'll be a lot of fun. On Sunday, it's always Kids' Day with the inflatables. We've had a lot of fun raising money for that the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
so all kinds of good stuff going on at Turner Hall. Of course, the Queen of Hearts is back. We talked about that. Homecoming, Turner Fest, the fundraiser for Jason Collins. Can't thank what you folks do up at Turner Hall enough for the local community, not just Mount Olive, but everyone that's kind of surrounds the community here. It's all one big happy family up there. Always a good time.
Well, thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, there you had it. Gabe Dexheimer gave you all the details on the Queen of Hearts. Get your tickets starting now. And we'll start the first drawing on March 1st. That's Friday night. The drawing will be at 9 p.m. So get on up to Turner Hall and get those tickets. And you can watch live every week right here on the What's That Like podcast. That'll be a lot of fun. We've done all this talk about the Queen of Hearts. Let's talk about something else. I want to bring my friend Greg Shifley on. He's a big fan of the band Motorhead. And he's actually got a tattoo of the Ace of Spades on his bicep. Well, let's get him on to talk about it. And
hey, are you done talking yet?
What?
Time to shut it down.
Bob, you're killing me, man. This was a short show, too. You really think... Whatever. You're the boss.
Again, you son of a...
All right, that's it. See you next time on the What's That Like podcast. I'm your host. Peace out. What's That Like is available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Search for What's That Like. Subscribe today and never miss an episode. Streaming is available at SoundCloud.com and on the SoundCloud app. Follow What's That Like at Facebook.com/What's That Like Podcast and on Twitter at What's That Like Pod. All opinions of the guests of the What's That Like podcast are their own, not necessarily the views of the host or the podcast producers. We hope you enjoy this podcast serving Central Illinois and beyond. Peace out!